Hello everybody, John Craig here with Performance Plus Tennis. Are you having trouble with getting over the waiter's tray position on your serve? If so, this lesson today is really going to help you improve your overall service motion and get rid of that dreaded waiter's tray position. So the waiter's tray is one of the most common problems and one of the most difficult problems to overcome on the serve. And specifically, the waiter's tray is exactly what it sounds like. It's when we come into the serve and we're attempting to go into the back scratch position and the racket falls back and open to the sky. And this is such a weak position to be in because in order to do that, I literally have to rotate this whole system back from the shoulder. So when I do that, I get in this position here, and now I'm really kind of trapped and it takes all the power out of my serve. Now, the reason why we do that is because when we first start playing tennis, we haven't had any instruction. We think it's logical to have the strings face the ball for a long time, so we end up serving like this. So the strings are facing, and there's our waiter's tray position. But it is really the opposite of what we want to really get into our motion. So it's been a lot of instruction here on YouTube about how to get rid of it. There's different ways and different techniques. I got a couple things I think are going to really help you in today's lesson. And the first thing is to make sure that you have a continental grip. And if you're still struggling with a continental grip and you're still getting in a waiter's tray position, then what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you start your setup so that your racket is a little bit underneath like this. And you'll see players on the tour that do this as well, where the side of the strings that are going to contact the ball are actually facing up to me slightly. So my racket's not quite on a 45-degree angle, but it's here, okay? And what happens when it's there in this position is when I bring it back, it naturally wants to fall in to a supinated position is what we want. So rather than having it come back and roll open and roll this way, it's literally going to come up and be in a position this way, and then it's going to fall in and it's going to easily come up and attack the ball on edge. So this is just one thing you can work on. So when you set up, feel like you have a good strong continental grip. You can actually go a little bit past continental. And then when you set up, you're here like this and reset your hands, make sure the racket is underneath. And then when you go into your movement to play it, you'll get that movement and the racket will not fall back, but it will fall in and come around on edge. And that is the motion you're trying to get to activate the long axis rotation or pronation in your serve. And that is the magical thing that actually creates the racketed speed, the easy speed that we're looking for on the serve. So that's one thing you can do, is just start here with the racket underneath, and that'll get you started to get rid of that waiter's tray position. The next thing you can check to really avoid the waiter's tray position is actually as you're approaching the trophy position, is to make sure that the palm of the hand and the racket are facing down. You see virtually every player, professional player, getting that racket in this position because we know that this position is the weak position. So if you keep the palm down as long as you possibly can until you're ready to enter your swing, it will naturally fall into its natural pattern of motion and get rid of that waiter's tray position. So you can even start with a half serve and just have your racket in this position. And you know what's interesting about this position is it's the exact position I'd be in if I were going to throw a ball. I'm going to throw a ball, there's my motion. So if you can just start it in that same position and then just play it naturally and get that throwing motion in there, that will help eliminate the waiter's tray position as well. Of course, the biggest challenge to getting rid of the waiter's tray position and actually getting the proper motion is that we're trying to play matches and we're trying to get the ball in the box. So we typically default into the muscle memory that we trust to get the ball to go in. But when you're practicing and you're trying to really learn this skill, don't consider hitting the ball in the box important at all. So in the beginning, and I can remember when I was a kid and I was playing, and I'll go to the deuce court here, when I had this grip and I was learning this and not doing the waiter's tray, my ball would go hard off to the left with a lot of spin like that continuously for probably 15 or 20 minutes. But gradually over the course of probably an hour, I started to get the ball to the bottom of the net, to the middle of the net, and to the top of the net. So you really got to just get out and practice these skills so that you can develop the proper motion and get rid of this dreaded position, this waiter's tray position, where you're just in a weak spot here. So just imagine, once again, if I put my racket back here, if someone were to come along and just put their hand on top of my strings, how weak this position is for me to generate a real swing on the ball. So you really have to work on it. So in summary, make sure you've got a strong continental grip. Start with the racket underneath. Trust it to fall in and not face the ball until it's rising up to go through pronation. You can check the stage here where you're in your trophy position. Make sure that your palm is down and the strings are facing down, and then take your natural swing from there. And then finally, just work on it, and you'll start to make the adjustments and get comfortable with the new motion and get rid of that waiter's tray position. Thanks so much for watching today's lesson. Please give us a like, leave your comments down below, and subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already. And if you'd like to dive deeper into your serve, click in the description down below and get my free mini course on the fundamentals you need to master to achieve your full potential on your serve. Thanks so much for watching today's video, and we'll see you in the next lesson.